wanted to talk about something that inspired a recent post that I made on Instagram. It was about being stuck, but a different kind of stuck. I remembered I said about how I hated dead ends, how I hated being cooped up. Most of all, I hated the feeling that I thought I was on a mountaintop. I was 2 steps ahead. And all of a sudden, I felt that there was just a wall in front of me still. Like, I thought I was moving ahead, and then suddenly there's an even bigger wall in front of me. And I've felt this way before, but it wasn't like this. It feels like there's another wall that I have yet to conquer, push through. And I thought more about it today and a few days ago, and how I realized that this kind of feeling that I've progressed, like I've made 2 huge steps, 2 huge leaps for myself, 2 huge leaps. And then when I get to the other side, there's another wall I have to climb over or try to push through. And initially, I felt sad. Is this even worth it? I thought that it was going to be easy, but I realized I was focusing too much on the destination just in front of me. Short-sighted vision. I wasn't focusing on the end goal. And sometimes you really need to be pushed into another wall right after you've jumped over a less intimidating wall to realize that actually life is full of walls. And if I could relate it to surfing, it's life is actually full of waves. And it's funny, as an average surfer, you think about that. Oh, waves, they come and go. And how ironic it is for me to hate big walled waves when in fact these are still waves. I mean, life is made out of waves. As an average surfer, as a person who loves to surf, I welcome waves anytime. But if these waves are not the type of waves I love or I like, it doesn't change the fact that they are still waves. It just makes me more aware that I have to change or I have to adapt to this certain kind of wave for me to be able to ride it. I know this may sound a little like, philosophical moment and related to surfing, but isn't that what life is all about? I mean, if you've tried to surf or if you're into surfing like I am, isn't wave riding really what we want? And the only reason that we're enjoying our sessions more and more is because actually learn to enjoy riding particular kind of waves. And so the more waves we can learn to ride, the more chances of us actually enjoying each session. And while certain beach breaks, certain surf spots have a tendency to have a certain flavor, style of waves, it's really true that there is no such thing as the same wave ever. Each wave is unique. Much as humans, we're all unique. There is never one that's the same. We may have people who are the same vibe with us, almost the same personality, but there is just nobody who's exactly 100%. And it's the same with waves. It's the same with the waves of the ocean and the waves of life. We get waves of different forms, and it's just up to us to figure out how this wave is going to work out for us and how we get to ride this wave to help us get to that destination. And if you're a surfer, you must know by now that the only way we can enjoy a great surf session, regardless of our experience, is that we need surf wax, or you would have a trackpad on your board to help you stop sliding off. And the trackpad is what would allow us to have a comfortable ride, to make sure we know what we're doing. We're not stepping off our board, we're not sliding off. And sometimes there are people in life that act as our surf wax or our track pads. These are people who guide us, people who give us help, give us consultations, give us friendly advice, whether it's a paid guidance or just a friendly reminder or mentorship or peer advice or community or even just help. They're here to keep us grounded, and they're here to help us stay on that path so we can get from the tail of our board to the nose for that hang 5 or hang 10. Or if you're shortboarding, it's for us to make sure we're not slipping off the barrel when we're in it or when we're getting tucked and all that, Okay, FYI, I have never been barreled. Okay, maybe I did get something like an underwater barrel or a shampoo or a hair wash, but it's really not something spectacular. It's more of like an accident, like, oh, that maybe is what it feels like to get barreled. But however you end up, that feeling is the same, and it's just really amazing. And we know how awesome it is to have great equipment, your wax is working, the waves are perfect, and you also know how it feels like to have a lack of equipment, a lack of wax. And I remember here in Dahican, when those days where we didn't have a surf shop, with those days where surf wax had to be bought in Manila or you had to import them from other countries. There was one time, way back in 2015, 2016, we ran out of wax, me and my crew. And the only available thing was candle wax. Oh my gosh, we literally used every inch of our longboards and coated them in candle wax, and it wasn't really the best, and I don't know if it was environmentally friendly to do that, but it was better than a slippery board, and we still gotta enjoy the session. And sometimes life's like that. Sometimes we have to use candle wax in lieu of surf wax because that's just what's available. And you know what's good about that is that you can improvise. We can learn to use the resources that we have in order to get on our boards, get to ride whatever wave the ocean gives us, and just have a good time. And I'd like to think that life's like that. Life is one session, one surf session that we're in it for the long haul. We wipe out, we get off, we get back on our boards and surf into the sunset, surf into the sunrise as long as we can. And life isn't one ride, it's multiple rides. And you know that it's so much fun to get on a ride, to get on a wave and enjoy it, milk it out. And so after that, we go back. And that's it. We always keep searching for things that make us feel alive. And we always keep searching for things that brings out life in us. And if for me that's surfing, and I don't know for you what that is, and if you're in a place right now where you don't know what that is, I encourage you to keep trying. I encourage you to never stop going out there, experimenting, because you will never know until you try. And don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid of wiping out. Wiping out can be fun sometimes, as long as you're safe. Remember that. If you're still stuck and you don't know what else to do, send me a message. I would love to hear your story, and I would love to see how I can help you out. And don't worry, everything is going to be really confidential if you want that. And who knows, maybe you have an awesome story that the world needs to hear, and I would love to share your story here in the podcast. So don't hesitate to reach out, and I would love to hear your story. So thank you for listening to this. I don't know what to call this, but whatever this is, I'm glad that I got to share it with you guys. And until the next episode, this is Ferina, and this is Millennial Mermaid on Air.